your hat.
Yeah. And you weren't really sparring. You were fighting. We were fighting all the time. And just guys getting dropped all the time. And that was just the kind of gym that I was in.
But this wasn't a real fight. He was pulling punches. He wasn't giving it his full effort.
Joe Rogan reacted strongly to reports circulating online about the rumored arrest of Jake Paul over allegations that some of his boxing fights may have been scripted. Rogan made it very clear that no career milestone, no amount of fame, and no financial reward is worth risking one's life inside the ring. He emphasized that boxing is not a performance or a show where outcomes can be controlled without consequences. According to Rogan, the dangers of the sport are real, immediate, and unforgiving. One mistake, one mistimed punch, or one reckless decision can permanently change a fighter's future. Rogan suggested that Jake Paul needs to seriously pause and reassess his choices before stepping into the ring again, warning that chasing attention, headlines, or money through dangerous fights could lead to irreversible consequences.
You have probably seen some of the controversy he's been.
Continuing his point, Joe Rogan stressed that boxing is among the most dangerous sports in the world. He explained that fighting recklessly or without full respect for the risks can result in severe physical damage, including long-term injuries that affect a fighter's quality of life. Rogan also warned that if a fighter becomes involved in illegal behavior, such as scripting fights or manipulating outcomes, the consequences go far beyond physical harm. Legal trouble, suspensions, and permanent damage to one's reputation could follow. In Rogan's view, the combination of physical danger and potential legal action makes such behavior not only irresponsible, but completely unacceptable in professional combat sports.
Because then you can't think, you can't do things, you don't know what the fuck you're doing in life. It's like literally everything is the quality of your ability to think. And
Nikisa Badarian stepped in to firmly address the widespread rumors surrounding the Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul fight. He categorically denied any claims that Jake Paul or his team were involved in wrongdoing or attempted to rig the bout in any way. Nikisa described the online speculation as shocking and completely false. He pointed out that some posts even suggested there was an agreement preventing Anthony Joshua from knocking out Jake Paul, a claim he called absurd and baseless. According to Nikisa, Joshua fought honestly, aggressively, and without any restrictions, ignoring any alleged arrangements that people online imagined. He emphasized that Jake Paul trained seriously, entered the ring knowing the risks, and competed in a legitimate contest. Nikisa also revealed that legal action is being taken against individuals spreading these false narratives, stressing that protecting the reputations of Jake Paul and his team is critical. For him, setting the record straight was essential to make it clear that the fight was real, unscripted, and that any claims of a fixed outcome are completely unfounded.
I've seen the script, rigged, this, that, and the other. Do you think now, at the very least, that talk goes away? Broke his jaw, went in there against Anthony Joshua. At the very least, do you think that you guys can move on from that? Like, that won't follow you?
No, I don't. I actually, our lawyers are actively going after a number of people. One who claims to be a lawyer himself online. I don't remember the name or the handle, but it was something that had like 200,000 likes. And basically this post said, there was an agreement for AJ not to knock out Jake, but AJ disregarded the agreement and decided to not get his payday, but knock out Jake Paul. So it's pretty astonishing what people say. Your dear friend Lou DiBella, saw him put up a bunch of ridiculous things and even said, Nikisa, go ahead and sue me, but this wasn't a real fight. He was pulling punches. He wasn't giving it his full effort.
And so for the people, again, just to clear this up, because I asked Eddie this question, I'll ask you the exact same question. Once and for all, was there any sort of arrangement as far as it should go this many rounds? Because that's the one that I've heard. Oh, Anthony agreed to 3 rounds, 4 rounds. Can you tell us in black and white if there were any talks of any kind between the network, the promotion, the fighter?
There has never once in Jake Paul's career been any talk of that sort, of anything to do with the fight being anything but a real fight that has exactly the same situation as any professional fight. And that's exactly the same thing here for the Anthony Joshua fight. It's just beyond mind-blowing that people would think that. Anthony Joshua was on record saying that if he didn't finish him in the first round, that would be disappointing, that it would be a failure. The narrative changed as we got closer to fight night and obviously post-fight, and I understand why, but they were pretty adamant it would take max 2 rounds.
Joe Rogan reiterated that he had already warned Jake Paul not to engage in behavior like this again. He strongly urged Paul to reconsider taking extremely high-risk boxing matches, especially when the danger far outweighs any potential reward. Rogan once again emphasized that no career achievement is worth risking one's life. He explained that the ring is an unforgiving environment where things can turn tragic in seconds. Rogan warned that pursuing staged, reckless, or overly dangerous fights for fame or financial gain could lead to catastrophic outcomes. In his view, safety, responsibility, and respect for the sport must always come first for any fighter, regardless of popularity or public pressure.
Look at all them celebrities like dude from the Mighty Ducks, the little boy actor that got strung out on drugs. And all his fronts and all his teeth were missing from being on meth or whatever, whatever drug of choice he was on. There's no coming back from that. The people who like dissipate their teeth through drug usage, you don't get like a second set. So if I'm not mistaken, the dude from Mighty Ducks, somebody like he's been clean and they gave him a makeover and he had like pretty much fake teeth. So yeah, the teeth are gonna be cooked. Now, I agree with the other part that Rogan was saying, but let's keep going.
Yeah. I think he went into that fight knowing that was probably going to happen. Yeah. And ultimately, the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it and that he could do well for a little bit.
Yeah, and I've already expressed my thoughts on this. I'm not giving no props for a person who says I am a real deal boxer because I went and get smashed and got my jaw broken, but I lasted longer than Ngannou. But I was crazy enough to try. Because, to be honest, we're way past the honeymoon stage with a person like Jake Paul. You've been in this for long enough to go through fight camps, dedicate your time, effort, energy, money, spar with people. You spar with some quality names because you have resources and money or whatever. So we're well past that to the point where you just get credit for stepping in. You maybe got credit your first fight or whatever, first couple of fights, for coming from your background and, stepping in and fighting, but we're well past that. You have a box rec. You were being ranked by sanctioning bodies in box.
Eddie Hearn offered a detailed and thoughtful analysis of the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, focusing on the strategic planning behind every moment in the ring. He explained that Joshua's team followed a clear and disciplined game plan built around patience and controlled aggression rather than reckless power punching. The objective, according to Hearn, was to systematically test Jake Paul, expose weaknesses, and drain his stamina before delivering decisive strikes. Hearn emphasized that this approach represents true professional boxing, where success depends on timing, discipline, and tactical execution instead of brute force. Every phase of the fight was carefully managed to maintain control while gradually asserting dominance. According to Hearn, this strategy not only secured the victory but also showcased boxing as an intelligent and calculated sport, where champions are defined by smart decision-making rather than raw strength alone.
Before the fight, I'm going to break him down, and then I'm going to knock him out. And that's exactly what he did. I thought it'd be all over within 3 rounds. But, when I got in the ring after, because I was shouting, just, anywhere, arms. I got in, he went, what are you rushing me for? And I was like, oh, sorry. So, but like, obviously he knows what he's doing, and actually now I'm quite pleased that we got the rounds, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw you said that. Really random, I was on Twitter and I saw Jake Paul's mom said she wants to get in the ring and punch you. She said she doesn't like the smug look on your face. She is promoting her book, so I'm not sure if she wants, But did you see that? What did you think of that?
I was very sad because I couldn't have been nicer and more respectful of Jake and what he's done. And I think Logan's amazing. I think he's an incredible athlete. And I shook Jake Paul's dad's hand in the ring, And if I would have seen Mum, I would have said, all right. But I think over the years, we've obviously had our beef, and she probably don't like me anyway. And I am probably a little bit smug. I wasn't smug after the fight because I would have been more smug if it was all over in a round. So, no, I give Jake respect. And, sorry Jake's mum doesn't like me, but if she can send me a free book.
Adam Catterall delivered a blunt and honest assessment of the fight, highlighting the imbalance that modern boxing faces when popularity and celebrity status influence matchmaking. He argued that Jake Paul's rapid rise in the sport is driven far more by his social media fame than by technical skill or deep in-ring experience. Catterall noted that even while appearing to restrain his full power, Anthony Joshua demonstrated superior timing, control, and precision. The punches he landed caused real damage and clearly exposed the gap in class between the two fighters. This contrast fueled speculation that external pressures, rather than pure sporting logic, may have shaped certain aspects of the bout. Rumors suggested that Jake Paul attempted to influence the pacing of the fight to minimize risk and protect his image. According to Catterall, these situations reflect a broader issue in celebrity boxing, where spectacle and marketability often take priority over authenticity and competitive integrity.
Standing in that ring thinking, for my own credibility, I've got to knock you out, but I've got to try and knock you out where I'm not hurting you as much as what I could if I unleashed. Yeah. And with the punch you said that he landed, it's not his best punch, it's his most powerful punch, right? Yeah. And he's shattered his jaw in 2 places, right? So Anthony Joshua gets his 70 million, whatever it is. But I think he's sitting there thinking, thank God for that. Thank God. On a human level, I've come out, all right, I've sort of, not reputation, but I haven't hurt him as bad as what I could have.
There should be an awful amount of people breathing a massive sigh of relief. Anybody that put that fight together, athletic commissions, like you said.
It wasn't a fight.
No, it wasn't at all. Like you said, it was a prize.
Yes.
Fight. It was an event. If Anthony damages him, he's got to live with that for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of stress to deal with, you know what I mean? So I'm sure he's bleeding in the side of relief. The team that have put him in there, that have negotiated that for him, but the authorities that put that on and commissioned it as a proper boxing match, I've no doubt.
Does that go on his...
Yeah, it's a professional boxing.
Do you know what? If I was Anthony Joshua, I would be saying, I don't want that on my record. But for the credibility of them putting the fight on, they would have said to him, no, we've got to say this, it's been commissioned, it's going to be a proper fight. And I found it, I love my boxing, but I just find the whole thing really, really unedifying. You said about get followers, you mentioned Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is nowhere near his level of getting like a British title fight or whatever. Nowhere near. So it's basically he's like...
Beat Jake Paul.
Right, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, beat Jake Paul. But so
but what I'm saying is that that's 100. I stand by that, and I think Tommy would admit that. You know what I mean? To become a British champion is a very prestigious thing to do, and I think
Sam Jones gave a brutally honest reaction, stating that the fight was difficult to watch not because of violent exchanges, but because of the clear technical deficiencies on display. He pointed out that Jake Paul struggled with basic boxing fundamentals, including defense, footwork, and timely reactions to Joshua's combinations. These repeated mistakes created a constant sense of imbalance throughout the bout, highlighting the significant gap in experience and skill. Observers also noted that certain sequences appeared almost choreographed, as if the action had been guided to reduce risk. While Jones acknowledged that Jake Paul put in serious training, he argued that the mismatch in talent and ring intelligence, combined with alleged hints of scripted pacing, resulted in an uneasy viewing experience for fans expecting a truly competitive fight.
Joshua knocking out and breaking Jake Paul's jaw. Just talk to me right now about the fight itself and then we'll break it down.
Bit of a crap fight, if we're all honest. It was like watching Jaws 2 when all the kids went out on their boats and they were in the middle of the sea and the shark was just surrounding the boat, just like that's what it was like. It was just like a shark circling its prey and just like it was like nibbling and eventually got him. But Jake Paul showed big plums in there, no matter what anybody says about him, because I've seen people say, yeah, he went in there to survive. Yeah, okay, he went in there to survive. He's a guy that's been boxing a couple of years against a unified champion of the world who can really punch. It wasn't the best fight. It just wasn't the best thing to watch, was it? Like it was just, it weren't great. I just want to see now Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua. I think at the stages of their careers they're at, AJ and Tyson Fury, we don't need to see interim fights, Andrew. We don't need to see interim fights because they're just potential banana skins. We want to see two of the best heavyweights of this era going at it.
After the fight, Luke Thomas emerged as a strong critical voice. He questioned the positive attention Jake Paul received simply for stepping into the ring with a world-class fighter like Anthony Joshua. Thomas argued that the spectacle surrounding the event overshadowed the genuine dangers involved. He suggested that Paul's confidence before the fight, along with certain moments inside the ring, seemed to align with ongoing rumors that portions of the bout may have been influenced or controlled. Thomas warned that celebrating such contests without serious scrutiny sets a dangerous precedent, blurring the line between entertainment and legitimate competition.
Diving kind of feeds into the story of him being perhaps a little bit better than we sometimes think, although I don't really co-sign on that. Let me make a point. The first point is, I think people are overreacting a little bit. People were suggesting when I got on social media that this was like the biggest farce they'd ever seen in their life, and that this was, how could he fight like this, and this was a disaster, and Joshua should have got him out there earlier. There is probably some evidence to suggest that I don't think Joshua was carrying him in the sense of, hey, they coordinated this ahead of time. But was Joshua really stepping on the gas? No, I don't think he was really stepping on the gas. There were times I think he clearly pulled his punches, partly because Jake was squirmy and rotating on the outside. Also in part because I think, as I indicated on Friday, he's watching this guy with pretty bad footwork. He was literally tripping over himself, and he realized he just can't keep this up. So, okay, so there was that. But people were acting like, like how could this be? How could this have happened? Guys, on Friday's MK, and then before that, earlier in the week on Submission Radio, they asked me on Submission Radio, how do you think he's gonna fight? And I'm like, he's gonna run. And they're like, you don't think he's gonna clinch? I'm like, okay, he'll clinch at times, but then the rest of the time, he's going to run. Like, what other way was this going to go? What other way was this?
Chael Sonnen delivered some of the strongest criticism, stating that fights like this are far too dangerous to occur under normal circumstances. He described the bout as feeling less like a traditional boxing contest and more like a fight for survival, with both physical health and public reputation on the line. Sonnen emphasized that inexperienced fighters facing elite professionals are placing themselves in potentially life-threatening situations. He argued that rumors of scripting only worsen the issue, as they undermine the integrity of the sport while exposing fighters to unnecessary risk. Analysts also observed that Jake Paul appeared unusually cautious at times, raising questions about whether certain moments were deliberately paced to limit damage while maintaining entertainment value.
These guys fought. That was not a boxing match. It just wasn't. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there, and he was moving as such. He was staying away from him. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this athletic competition, and then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. He was fighting. Then it turns to where he can't stay away anymore. So now he's got to go the other way. He's got to go forward. So now he's clinched him. Now he's dropping down to his knees. He's going below the waist. He's getting to double leg positions. He was fighting. These guys were fighting. Jake was fighting for his survival, and you could so see it. You could see this animal who's been caged and is just trying to make it through, not even kill its prey, just make it through. And it was incredible. It was really incredible. So on the back end, some of the comments that I made or that I had heard were so confusing to me. It was a very good competition. I will tell you, it breaks my heart too that Anthony Joshua can't get him out of there in one round. Dave Portnoy had made a comment before the fight. He said, I like Jake. I wish well for Jake. Of course I'm taking Joshua. And then Portnoy made his point. And he said, because I believe in boxing. This isn't if I'm cheering for Jake or if I think that Joshua's more experienced or better. I believe in boxing. I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for the next update as this story continues to unfold.